That is, and I know this rubs Palestinians the wrong way, the idea that anybody who's Jewish from whatever country can come in and the moment they step off the plane they become citizens, correct? Mm-hmm. Would it be okay if the same thing applied to a Palestinian state, where anybody from, I don't know, do you have any plans like that where anybody...
Yeah, I mean, my uncles in the Emirates, in the United Arab Emirates.
Right, that's for the middle ground. Apparently I'm sitting right on it.
You can keep repeating the same thing. You can keep...
present you the map that the
Here is the map.
We have the map right here.
No, I have a bigger one here. I have a bigger one.
Right here.
I have a bigger one.
I have the biggest one of all.
I've got a bigger map than all of you put together. Here's my map, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I understand that underlying dynamic. We're going to miss the real importance of this story.
What set the stage for this was Abu Ghraib, and they are predisposed now to really dislike us. And Gita, what do you think about that? If this retraction, do you think that will change anything in the Muslim world?
I don't think it's the retraction that's having an impact, Dave. I think that you hit it right on the mark, that the real story here is
Couldn't we fix this very easily by having somebody simply ask the president, point blank, has the Koran ever been used as part of an interrogation technique, and just have him say for all the world to hear, no, it has never, ever been used as an interrogation technique by us?
Well, I'm sure that if the president were in a position to answer that question, he would be happy to field it, but I don't know if he is. And my guess is the people who are being asked that question as part of this effort to understand where the truth lies are the people who do know and who have repeatedly said this has not happened.
Frank, if this is now, if you were accusing Newsweek of fueling Muslim unrest, if this has become that important, then it would behoove the president to stand up and say, we have never, ever used the Koran for an interrogation technique.
I think that's pretty much what Condi Rice said today or yesterday.
And again, Newsweek magazine has now officially retracted its story about a military probe finding evidence of Koran abuse at Guantanamo Bay. We'll talk more about the story's aftermath after a short break. You can join our discussion, too. Go to our website at connected.msnbc.com. Stay with us. Newsweek magazine says it is retracting its story about Koran abuse at Guantanamo Bay. The magazine issued a statement just minutes ago. It was just this morning that Newsweek admitted there were problems with the story. The Bush administration had been demanding a retraction all day. The original report said a U.S. probe had found that interrogators flushed a copy of the Koran down a toilet, findings that sparked deadly anti-U.S. violence in Afghanistan. Let's get back to our guests. Frank, let me ask you, if we're saying that these Muslim nations are ready for democracy, as part of democracy, you're going to have stories like this from time to time. You're going to have a free press. There's going to be a rough and tumble debate. If every time somebody says something upsetting sparks riots, can you say they're ready for democracy?
I think most of these countries that we hope will move in the democratic direction are not ready for democracy, at least as we have known and practiced it.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, thanks.
As always, Tony Masilis.
Thank you, Tony. The virtual hamburgers are safe. It's the real ones that'll kill you. Up next, two leading voices in the debate over religion and politics. And join the discussion on connected.msnbc.com. Stay with us. But Jim, let me toss one at you. If the religious right gets its way, I mean, they're in the political arena, which means they want to use the government, the mechanism of force, to impose some of their views on people. Which views should be imposed on people? Any?
Well, look, my views on social issues are fairly middle of the road. I think, for instance, that abortion should be legal but more restricted than it is now.
James, is there a way, James, to fulfill the agenda of the Christian right without getting into something that I think even they would classify as big government? When you talk about things like the Terry Schiavo case, when you talk about the federal government getting involved in biology classes, that's big government. That's not a conservative notion, is it?
Well, I don't think you're usually talking about the federal government getting involved in biology classes.
More of your calls after these messages.
Which brings me to another point. And I don't quite know how to put this, but we need more Republicans. There is a certain lopsidedness to the partisan makeup of the current legislature. The Democrats can introduce impeachment resolutions and there's almost nobody to ridicule them. I mean, Democrats had to table their own family leave bill.